what's up you guys, it's your girl Christy, and today I'm going to be talking about something that we never thought that we'd talk about, Stephenie Meyer's book, Midnight Sun. Now, I, like many people, thought that Midnight Sun would simply stay excerpts on Stephenie Meyer's website, but the fact that we have it today is something that's really wonderful and something that I am extremely thankful for, even if it's so many years later. I'm just glad that we have it at all. Now, two things before I start. One, there will be spoilers throughout what I'm talking about. Two, three things. Two, this will not be a plot overview or a review of straightforward events of the book. If you're looking for that, I'm sure that there are people that are more talented, so I suggest that you watch one of their videos. They can probably put it a little more eloquently than I. And three, the most important thing. Stephenie Meyer has had problems in the past with her portrayals of Indigenous peoples, specifically the Quileutes, and of people of other races. If you're in the mood to have that discussion, I would love to talk with you in the comments below, because I completely agree that she has had issues with that. And yeah, I'm all for open discussion, open community, so please feel free to leave a comment for me below, and I would love to talk with that with you, because I was very young whenever I read the books. I was 7 or 8 years old, and that was something that I didn't see, and it's something that I've seen as I have gotten older. So if it's something that you felt discomforted by, then I completely understand that, and I would love to discuss that with you in the comments below, because I know that I personally can't share in that experience, but I can definitely understand and I can empathize. I bought Midnight Sun on a whim, actually. I had a Barnes & Noble gift card that I found while I was cleaning my room, and I was like, what can I use this for? And Midnight Sun was, I think, $19 to $21, I can't remember. It was a $50 gift card. I used part of it on that and the other part on Francine Rivers' book, which, if you don't know who Francine Rivers is, I understand. She's a Christian author that normally I don't like a ton of Christian literature, but I really do like her book, A Voice in the Wind. If you like historical fiction, you will absolutely love A Voice in the Wind, so I definitely recommend that for you. But anyway, back on topic. Midnight Sun. I really do feel that I enjoyed Midnight Sun for two big reasons. The first one being, it's very much a nostalgia revamp. If you, like me, if you're anything like me, you're trying to chase that childhood joy that you got from consumption of media, like Twilight, or maybe your favorite TV show, or anything like that. I remember being a child and finding pure unadulterated joy in cracking open a book and sitting and reading for hours, and that's something that as I've grown up and as the world has gotten so much faster, I've found myself either less inclined or I have less time to do that. And it's honestly a sad thing. I suggest that if you haven't done something, just as Hosier would say, for the love of it lately, then I suggest you pause this video, go and get you a mug of something hot, although not you, because you probably don't fit in a mug, and you don't need to drink yourself, you tall glass of water. You're not quite that hot. You're pretty cool though. I suggest you get you a mug of something hot, sit in your coziest chair, beanbag, bed, whatever, grab a book, set a timer for 5 minutes, just read. Just watch a little bit of your favorite TV show. I guarantee you that you'll want to go for longer than 5 minutes once you get there. But to continue, even if you have done that lately, I suggest you do it, just because to do something purely for the love of it is something that we don't see enough. I feel that it's very much related to art and the humanities. We do these things out of love and out of appreciation, as opposed to something like, I don't know, like computer science, where it can be from love, but it's more a data-based thing. And in a society that's very consumer-based, sometimes it is important that we sit down and enjoy things simply for their enjoyment. That's why we have art, that's why we have culture, that's why we have literature, and they're all things that I find joy and I find passion in, and I know that if I do because of our shared human experience, then some of you probably do too. And I suggest that try and make a little bit more time to enjoy those, because I know that I don't do that enough, and it's something that I want to try and set a standard for in my life. But tangent aside, it's very much a nostalgia thing for me. Sitting down and reading Midnight Sun was remembering being on the school bus with my copy of Eclipse, although I absolutely hate Jacob's characterization in Eclipse and Breaking Dawn. Where is the soft-faced baby from Twilight? Where is he? I need him back. But to continue, I remember being on the bus and listening, putting my MP3 player earbuds in. It was this little tiny round thing, and listening to Muse and Mute Math as a little 8-year-old, and I didn't understand all the lyrics, and I didn't understand all the music, but I knew that it moved something in me, and I felt something, and I definitely felt that again with Midnight Sun. I feel that good literature is supposed to move you to emotion, whether that emotion is love, joy, horror, fear. Good literature makes you feel something. It makes you feel something that you never would have previously been able to understand. Good literature, instead of describing something as delightful as C.S. Lewis would say, it makes you feel delightful. And I definitely feel that Midnight Sun did that. It brought out those feelings in me. Does that make it a classic work of literature? Heck no! Do I feel that this book will survive for 50 plus years down the road? Probably not. I'm no judge of that sort of thing. Go ask your humanities professor. Go ask your English professor. But I enjoyed it, and I feel that that's something that's valid. That leads into my next point, is that this book is an expansion of the original canon. You get to see a lot more of Edward's internal workings. You get to see a lot more of Rosalie and Emmett's characterization in their relationship, which Emmett was amazing in this book. If you're gonna go and read it, please do, just for Emmett, because he's such a supportive brother, and I absolutely loved him. And Edward's thoughts on Rosalie are hilarious too, although I feel that he is somewhat prejudiced. And honestly, characters that we didn't get to see a lot of in the original books, like Esme and Angela Weber. Esme has always been somebody that I thought was so sweet, but it was so unfortunate that we didn't get enough time with her, and you get little interactions with her in this book that just melt your heart, and I love that. And you get Edward doing this nice little thing for Angela with Ben, and oh, it's so cute. It's so wholesome, and it's something that's just little expansions, but I think my favorite thing about this book is that Edward's perspective, because of his vampiric nature, is by extension richer than Bella's. His senses are heightened. He smells more, he tastes more, he reads minds, and that's something that's absolutely amazing. Bella's perspective, because she is human, is very much like seeing a play performed on stage. You appreciate it, it's beautiful, you can analyze it. Being immersed in Edward's perspective is like seeing the play performed on stage, but also being a part of the play and reading and rehearsing your lines and assigning roles, being like a director basically, and seeing all the behind the scenes and the work that went into it and the sweat and the blood. Although I don't feel that this was something that is purely performative, it is sort of to be compared to something like that, I suppose. As somebody who loves theater and loves consumption of theater, it was funny to see how the Cullens performed human things for Bella. Fixing her dinner, bringing her into the study where Carlisle introduced himself even though he'd already heard everything, Edward and Carlisle's small conversations. This is a tangent, but one of my favorite parts in the book was whenever Carlisle sends Edward out to go and walk amongst the humans whenever they're staying in some small town up north. And he comes back and Carlisle has just decorated this little Christmas tree for him, and he's put candles in it. And I suppose for me that's why I enjoy something like this so much, is because it's characterization and it's humanization. And those are two of my soft spots. If you're gonna make me know a character more and you're gonna make them more human to me, I get chills, I get so excited. I just get really hyper. If you ask anybody in my life how much I like characterization, they will groan and they will tell you, because it's what I love to write about, it's what I love to talk about. I was almost a psych student because I just love looking at people, and I love asking why they act the way they act, and how do they act, and why do they react this way and that way. But tangent. I just really love the conflict that Edward has in this book, because where Bella's conflicts are very much man versus nature, her interacting with the world around her and figuring out where she fits in and how she fits in, Edward's conflict is very much man versus self, which for me is a lot more fulfilling because I frequently struggle with things like doubt and fear. Edward very much struggles with those things as well, but he more struggles with, I suppose you would call it his id as a vampire, where he has base instincts that he has to ignore and he learns to overcome them, which I personally believe makes him a little more of a richer character than Bella, but I think it's unfair to compare them because they're still sort of different. But Edward's conflict is amazing because we still get to see Bella's side of things, but we see the little ways in which he's interacted with the world and the things that he chose not to do and the ways in which he acted and reacted, and I don't know, that for me is just something that's completely rich, as I've said. All in all, I feel that Midnight Sun is an exploration of Edward's perspective that adds more to the world. It's definitely rich. It's, through the lens of his perspective, we get a better version of the world that enthralled us a long time ago, and I think that that's something that is to be commended. I will say, if you enjoy this video, consider liking and subscribing. If you guys like this sort of content, I'll try and upload a lot more frequently because I'm going to be going to school. I'll be getting in more of a routine, and then I can set like a structured time as opposed to in the summer where I'm working all the time and I'm sort of tired by the time I get home. But also, if you enjoyed Midnight Sun, one book that I feel you would very much enjoy is Stephenie Meyer's The Host. I personally like it better than any Twilight book because it is another, even though it is also man versus nature, it's very much a man versus self book in the perspective of an alien, which is very interesting. If you like Edward's perspectives, you would definitely enjoy The Host. That's a tangent. Anyway, to conclude, I really enjoyed Midnight Sun, basically nostalgia factor and extended characterization. I hope that you do too. It's not everyone's cup of tea. I wouldn't deign to say that it is everyone's cup of tea. And if you didn't enjoy it, that's valid. I'd like to know why in the comments below. If you did enjoy it, I'd also love to know. Please leave a comment. If you'd like to go ahead. If you'd like to subscribe, I would love that too. But whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you decide to do, I hope that you have a nice day and I hope that you're taking care of yourself.